I want to welcome you back to part two of this series. This one I'm calling Get Your Head in the Game. I hope you got a lot of value out of the first video. In this video, we're primarily going to talk about having the proper mindset to be successful in marketing. Most people aren't naturally salesmen, and because of that, we go about it the wrong way. I know I did when I started, and I know that most people that I know do, and that's one of the main reasons that people are not successful. I believe that if you get your mindset correct, your chances are much, much better of being successful. So that's why I've put this as the first part of this after the introduction, because if you don't get this part right, the rest of it doesn't fall into place. Let me start off with a few facts. Number one, just because you're here and just because you're doing this and you want to make a better life for yourself, for your family, for those around you, you are awesome. Most people wouldn't take the time out of their busy schedule to try and do this kind of stuff, to learn more, to make some extra money, whatever your goals are. But because you're doing this, you are awesome. Number two, you will be successful. You don't have to make $1 million to be successful. If your goal is to pay off your bills, to make $100 a month, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month, whatever your goals are, you're going to be successful. I believe that in my heart. If you'll just follow what you're going to learn in this series, you will be successful. And you will reach your goals. Whatever your goals are, set them high. Set your goals high. You will reach your goals. And your future will be incredible. Probably more than you could ever imagine. All you have to do is work. You don't have to be anything special. You don't have to know, have a college degree even. All you have to do is follow those who've gone before you. Now, let me give you a few more facts. There will be a learning curve. This learning curve, it may take you a week, a month, or longer to learn what you need to do. We're going to try our best to speed that learning curve up. But there will be a learning curve. Success takes time. One of the biggest reasons for failure is because people come into this business thinking that if they start today, they're going to start making money tomorrow. Where I guess that is possible, that's not normal. It takes time to become successful, and you're going to learn why a little bit later in this video. You will make mistakes. Just realize that right now. You will make mistakes. That's not a bad thing. We learn a lot by our mistakes, and we've all done it. And you will feel uncomfortable sometimes. If you feel uncomfortable making videos, you're going to need to get over that. If you feel uncomfortable talking to other people, you're going to need to get over that. Now, again, that takes time also. But the more you do them, the more you'll get over them. But if you keep striving toward your goals, you will be successful. Again, I know that to be a fact. If you keep striving toward your goals, don't look back, look ahead. You will be successful. Now, let me give you a big warning right here. Don't listen to what I call the dream stealers. When we try to get ahead, others try to drag us back. That is just sort of a human instinct, I guess. People don't want other people to get ahead. You know, the saying is misery loves company. Well, that's very true here. Society tends to think that rich people are greedy, or that they hurt others to get what they have, or that people with money are even evil. You know, I've often heard the verse quoted out of the Bible. It's usually misquoted, that money is the root of all evil. That's not what it says. If you read it carefully, it's 1 Timothy 6:10. And the verse, it says, the love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money. That means if you let money dominate your life, yes, it can become the root of evil. But just having money is not. Go after your dreams and don't let others hold you back. Don't tolerate negativity. Don't let others steal your dreams. People get comfortable where they are. Most people are lazy and afraid of the unknown. They're scared to try something new and don't like it when others succeed. There's nothing wrong with getting ahead and following your dreams. If you're like most people, you may even be a little embarrassed to be getting ahead. Don't feel bad about your success. Set your goals and be striving for them. Don't let the dream stealers win. Okay? Associate yourself with those who are successful, not those who are not. Let me give you a little story to emphasize this. I was riding along in my car recently, and I had someone in the passenger seat. We pulled up beside someone who was in a very nice Rolls Royce. Very nice. This was probably $200,000-$300,000 car, with the chauffeur driving. The passenger looked over and said, "Look at him. He thinks he's all that. He must think he's something." Well, my opinion is a little bit different. I looked at the passenger and said, you know, if he's worked hard enough to make that kind of money, he deserves that kind of lifestyle and that kind of car. There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly fine. If you work for something, get the rewards. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, before we go any further, I need to give some disclaimers. Okay, number one, I don't know everything. I've never claimed to. Some concepts can be taught better by others, just simply because they're experts. They may be specialists in their areas. So, I'm going to defer a few things to them, and I'm going to give you assignments where I want you to check out a few other things. So when I give those, I need you to do them. You're going to have one at the end of this video. Okay, you will have to work your butt off to be successful. You've probably heard about people who work an hour a day and make $1 million a year. Well, that's possible. But that's what they make, and that's what they do after they have been doing this for a while. I guarantee you, if you ask them, they will tell you that when they first got started, They may have worked 20 hours a day to get everything going. So don't be afraid to work. Now, I don't know that you're going to need to work that much, but you are going to have to work. Eventually, yes, you'll get to the 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours a day. But right now, you're not there. You're going to have to work. You will have to spend some money. Now, I'm going to show you how to save some of that so that you don't spend as much. But you will have to spend some money. If you're not willing to do that, if you think everything should be free, that everything should be given to you, you are in the wrong business. I'm just going to say it bluntly. Now, I said back in the first video, I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. And this is one of them. If you expect everything to be free, turn this video off right now and get out of this business. If you're still here, great. That means you're willing to do what it takes. The last thing, there are no guarantees of income. I can't promise that you're going to make 1 penny. I don't know you. I don't know how hard you're going to work. So I can't guarantee any income. But I will tell you this, that if you do what I and others tell you to do, your chances are going to be much better. But again, I cannot guarantee any income. Now, let's move on. Okay, I've got a quote here for you. This is from Napoleon Hill, who you're probably familiar with. You've probably at least heard of him. He wrote a book and a series probably 75 years ago or more that was called Think and Grow Rich. He is probably the #1 authority in the business mindset area. And he gave a quote that says, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve." Now think about that for a minute. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. That's big words, but I believe it with all my heart. Now, let's have a little science lesson here. Okay, how the brain works. Our brain is probably one of the most marvelous, wonderful things in this world. It is incredible. Scientists have been studying it since the beginning of time, and they still don't understand it. But very simply, when we get information, the information comes in. The brain filters it, and success and happiness comes out. Now, your brain receives thousands of bits of information every second. Right now, you're not only hearing me talk, you're thinking about it, you're seeing what's around you, you are probably hearing other things in the background, your heart's beating, you're breathing, your stomach is working, all of your internal organs are working, and your brain is processing all of that, all at the same time. We can't handle that much information. Your brain focuses on what is important to you and deletes everything else. That's why you can concentrate and focus on one thing without being distracted by everything that's around you. You know, there are some people who have brain injuries, who have trouble filtering these things out. Every second is filtering out thousands of pieces of information so that you don't physically have to think about it. How well would you get along if you had to think every second, okay, heartbeat, breathe, okay, stomach work, Okay, breathe again, heartbeat, heartbeat. You don't have time for anything else. You don't have time to concentrate on smelling flowers or on processing the sounds you hear around you or understanding words. So your brain filters all of that out and it only focuses on what is important to you. The great thing about that is you decide what is important to you. You can change that. That's why it's important to set goals and concentrate on these goals. I've heard people, and I do this, who say it's important to give yourself affirmations every day. You know, affirmations are where you say something like, today is going to be a great day. Or today I'm going to help people to become better at their business, whatever. And you say those things over and over. And by doing that, your brain starts to focus on those things. And so that becomes important to you. And that is what it becomes. Now, let me go back and this slide, let's look at it again. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Now, knowing what I just told you, whatever you can conceive and believe, that means what your goals are, what's important to you, it can achieve because it's going to filter everything out and work straight toward that. If it's important to you to be successful in your business and you concentrate on that and you focus on that, then you will achieve it. It's as simple as that. Okay, now, there are 3 types of people. And I guarantee you fall into one of these kinds. Okay, there's the newbie. Okay, brand new and usually overwhelmed by all the information that's going on around them. There's the unsuccessful. This person's been in this for 6 months to a few years and have made little to no money. This is the category that most people are in. And this is my favorite category. Because these people, because they've been in for 6 months to a few years, they're not quitters. They've decided that they're going to make it work. They just haven't quite found the right road. But this is my favorite category. The third one is the successful. These people have made money, but are trying to refine their business and make more money. That's great because they're still trying to learn. They're still trying to get better. We should always be trying to learn. The next part I'm calling the internal power because your mindset and your power has to come from within. You have to align the forces that create lasting success and make you unconsciously competent. Remember a little while ago I said that the brain processes thousands a second. So you've got to make it unconscious so that the brain does not have to physically think about it. If you make it unconscious, it makes it much easier. Okay, as I said before, there's no such thing as overnight success. You need to realize that. Success comes from doing what others are not willing to do. You can't be lazy. You've got to do what others are not willing to. It starts with changing the way you think about yourself and what it takes to succeed in life. You got to make those changes. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful. You probably heard it said that doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome is the definition of insanity. You can't do the same thing over and over and expect things to be different. You must make changes. Wanting something is not enough. You must hunger for it. Your motivation must be absolutely compelling in order to overcome the obstacles that will invariably come your way. That's a quote from Les Brown. If you're not familiar with Les Brown, go Google him, look him up, because he is a great motivator, a great thinker, and you can learn a lot from him. Now, here's 5 ways to overcome obstacles, because we all have obstacles in our lives. 1. Get rid of old patterns that lead to failure. Master your emotional state. Understand how the brain works. Master your fear. Set lofty goals. Now, identify old patterns of behavior that create roadblocks to your success. Here's how you do it. 1. Eliminate the word should. Should is the favorite word of procrastinators. It tricks us into confusing intentions with actual behavior. 2. Get rid of the word can't. Second most destructive word is can't. It's disempowering. It drains you of creative energy and overwhelms you. It's nothing more than an excuse so you don't have to try. When we say we can't do something, that's no more than an excuse. What you really should be saying is, I will, or maybe I'm having trouble right now, but I'm going to figure it out. But don't say the word can't. Stop letting past mistakes control your present thinking. You are not the mistakes of your past. You are the resources and capabilities you gain from those mistakes. Your mistakes and failures represent your greatest asset. Now, let me explain that for just a second. Mistakes are a good thing. We learn most from our mistakes. And it's just simply a way to say, don't do it that way again. When we make mistakes and fall down, get back up. Some of the greatest people in the world have also been some of the biggest mistake makers. I can't remember how many times I heard that Thomas Edison failed at making a light bulb, but eventually he did. It only takes one time doing it right. So get over your mistakes. Don't let them control you. Focus on the right thing. Unsuccessful people focus on what they're afraid of or their problems, and then wonder why they get the results they do. Successful people focus on where they want to go and what they need to do to get there. Always keep your focus on where you're going, not where you've been. Keep your eyes forward and not behind you. Okay, breaking old patterns. Okay, we're conditioned to look at problems rather than solutions. Breaking old patterns and developing new ones is a 2-step process. Step 1, you got to interrupt them or stop them. First, you become aware that your old patterns are getting in your way of achieving your goals. Then you tell yourself, this is an old pattern that doesn't serve me well. Next, you make a conscious decision to think or act differently. You do this for a while and it becomes natural. Step 2, you have to condition a new pattern to take its place. An old pattern needs to be replaced with a new and more effective one. Otherwise, the old pattern will keep coming back. Don't allow yourself to be a creature of circumstances. Instead, be a creator of circumstances. Make your own circumstances. Don't be a victim. Mastering your emotional state. Certain mental emotional states inevitably lead to wealth and success. In sales, there's certainty, clarity, conviction, and confidence. You got to have all of these. In your personal life, these are compassion, understanding, empathy, and kindness. On the other hand, disempowering states are fear, jealousy, greed, doubt, uncertainty, guilt, shame. These cause you to lose focus and perform at a low level, so you've got to get rid of those. Disempowering states must be avoided at all costs. Now, here's 3 ways to manage your fears, because we all have them. One is pretend your fears don't exist. This is the choice of people who live at the lowest level. In other words, it does not work very well. They just pretend that they don't exist. Number 2, act in spite of your fears. If this is done long enough, it will eventually overcome the fear. You probably hear about people who are afraid of heights, and they'll go up and go skydiving to overcome their fear. That's what this is. Act in spite of your fears. And this one does work. 3, make your goal bigger than your fear. This makes your fear non-existent and replaces your fear. If your goal is big enough, your fear will be gone. Now, let's get to the last part. 5 keys for setting effective goals. Because I want you to do this. This is going to be one of your assignments. I want you to write down your goals. Make them big, make them lofty. Okay, put a date on when you will reach your goals. I suggest about 90 days. You can do it shorter, you can do it longer. But put a date on it. Identify the people, groups, organizations that you need to align with in order to reach your goals. You're going to need help. So identify those things. Take massive action. Don't just sit there and wait on it. You've got to work hard. You've got to take massive action. I'm going to show you later in this series how to do that. Identify what's working and what isn't working, and change your approach accordingly. If it's working, keep doing it, make it bigger. If it's not working, get rid of it, try something else. And here's a bonus for you. Never quit. If you never quit, you will be successful. I've heard it said that 97% of all those who try internet marketing fail, but 100% of those who never quit are successful, because eventually they will figure it out and they will become successful. Now, here's your assignments. I want you to watch the Think and Grow Rich video series by Napoleon Hill. I put them on some videos. They're all short. Most of them are 10 minutes or less. There's 13 of them, but they're all fairly short. Okay, here's the web address if you want to write it down. But I'm going to give a link below this video where you can just click on that. Second thing, I want you to set your 90-day goals. Be sure to include specifics such as dates, people you need to align with, skills needed, resources needed, timeline, etc. And make it 5 to 10 goals. Okay, so that's your assignments. I want you to do those things before you watch the next video. But I'll see you there. Thanks for watching this one, and I'll see you in the next video.